Hello everyone. Have you ever seen a place on the map that looked too dangerous to visit, but you went anyway? As if nature itself was whispering, a silent warning, begging you to stay away. Have you ever set up camp at night, and as the world around you fell into silence, you felt like something or someone was watching you? That silence. Sometimes it's not just silence. Today, I'm going to tell you about a camping trip I took with my friends. A trip that turned into something far worse than we ever imagined. A journey that should have never continued. But as you listen to this story, take a look around you, because sometimes, some places are only meant to be visited once. Pushpin 4 more stories like this, unique, eerie, and completely original. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It's free. Your support means the world to me. On my road to 500 subscribers. Now, put on your headphones, lean back, and listen closely, because the silence you're about to hear wasn't natural. My name is Aaron. I'm 24. I've been camping since I was a kid. Not with family or at summer camps. Real camping. Deep woods. No signals. No signs. No noise. Just us, and whatever was already out there. That summer, I planned a trip with 3 of my closest friends. Max, Riley, and Cole. We didn't want a regular spot. We wanted something new. Something unmarked. Max found a place online. A clearing in the forest that didn't appear on most maps. No trails. No campsites. No official name. Just one label someone had left on an old hiker's forum. Deadwood Hollow. We laughed at the name. I mean, come on. It sounded like something from a bad horror movie. But something about it pulled us in. We packed our gear and drove 5 hours out. The last 30 minutes were nothing but dirt roads and trees that leaned in too close. Like they didn't want us there. When we finally found the spot, it was quiet. Too quiet. No birds. No wind. Not even the sound of insects. Just this stillness. Like the forest was holding its breath. We set up camp. Tried to shake off the unease. Told jokes, played music. But by nightfall, something felt wrong. Cole said he saw someone watching from the tree-line. Max swore he heard footsteps circling our tent while we were talking. Riley laughed it off. Until we heard it too. A whisper. Low. Raspy. Right behind us. But when we turned, no one was there. That night I couldn't sleep. Neither could the others. We stayed inside our tents. Flashlights on, ears wide open. At 3:12 a.m., I heard it again. Not a whisper this time. A word. Spoken slowly, like it didn't belong in a human mouth. Return. I froze. Riley sat up, his eyes wide. He'd heard it too. But Cole. His tent was open. And he was gone. We ran out, calling his name. Nothing. Not a single sound. Max found his flashlight. At the edge of the trees. Still on. But no sign of him. We searched until sunrise. Yelled until our voices cracked. But the forest gave us nothing. And when the sun came up, Deadwood Hollow didn't look the same. Our camp was different. The clearing was smaller. The path we came in through was gone. We were trapped. Not just physically. It felt like something was playing with us. Changing things. Watching. Waiting. Riley wanted to climb a tree to see over the canopy. He got halfway up before screaming and falling. He said he saw faces in the branches. Dozens of them. Eyes wide open. Mouths whispering. By evening, Max snapped. He took the hatchet and ran into the woods, screaming Cole's name. We never saw him again. That night, I made Riley stay in my tent. We didn't sleep. We just listened. To the footsteps. To the trees creaking when there was no wind. To the forest breathing. And then, that voice again. Right outside the tent. Only this time. It said both our names. At dawn, Riley was gone. There was no struggle. No noise. Just his sleeping bag, zipped up and empty. I didn't even pack. I just ran. Somehow, I found a path. One that hadn't been there before. And after hours of walking, I emerged from the forest. But it didn't feel like I escaped. It felt like I was let go. For more stories like this, unique, eerie, and completely original, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It's free. Your support means the world to me. On my road to 500 subscribers. Now, put on your headphones, lean back, and listen closely, because the silence you're about to hear wasn't natural. Have you ever seen something that didn't make sense? Not just weird, but impossible? A fire that wouldn't die. A shadow that didn't match the body. A scream that echoed long after it stopped. Well, tonight, I'm going to tell you about a night in the woods where we made one mistake. We lit a fire, and we never should have. My name is Liam. I'm 22, and until last fall, I thought I had seen everything nature had to offer. I've done deep forest camping, winter survival hikes, solo trips with nothing but a knife and a tarp. But that night, none of that mattered. Because there are places in the woods where knowledge can't protect you, where something older than fear is waiting. We were 6 people. Me, my girlfriend Zoe, my best friend Marcus, and his cousin Ava, and 2 others, Dom and Sarah, both new to camping, but eager. We drove 5 hours out, then hiked another 2, through dense, uneven terrain. The GPS went dead fast. We followed an old fire trail until we found it. A flat ridge, tucked between tall pines. It looked perfect. That was the problem. That night, we lit a fire. Not just for warmth, but for the vibe. Laughter, snacks, ghost stories. Until Sarah asked, "Hey, has anyone ever camped here before?" There was a pause. None of us had thought about that. No signs. No trash. No old ash piles. Not even animal tracks. It was too clean. Then, the fire changed. The flames grew taller, brighter. But there was no wind. The wood cracked. But not like wood. It sounded like bones. Zoe backed away. Dom tried to joke. "Someone cursed the logs, huh?" But nobody laughed. Because the fire wasn't just burning. It was watching us. We all felt it. Like something had opened. Like we weren't 6 people anymore, but 7. I turned to look, and I swear, there was a figure, right at the edge of the firelight. Unmoving. Featureless. A person made of smoke. Marcus stood up, flashlight in hand. He pointed it at the figure. Nothing. But the moment he turned it off, it was closer. No sound. No steps. Just closer. Then Zoe screamed. She said. The fire whispered her name. Over and over. but backwards. Yos! Yos! Sarah dropped her marshmallow stick. She hadn't heard the whisper, but she saw the fire blink like eyes. Ava poured water on it. Nothing. Dom threw dirt. It hissed, then grew taller. It bent toward us, reaching, like it wanted to taste us. We panicked, split in all directions. The fire didn't follow, but its light did, stretching through the trees, like it wanted us to see what else was there. We regrouped. An hour later, exhausted, shaken, silent. The fire was gone, but the ground, still hot, and in the ash, 6 footprints, facing inward, and one more, facing out. We don't talk much now. Dom moved away, so we won't even look at a tent. Marcus stopped sleeping. And me? Sometimes I wake up, middle of the night, smelling smoke, and hearing a voice, whispering my name, backwards. Male! Male! If you're camping this year, don't build your fire just anywhere, because some places burn for a reason, and some fires, they don't want to go out. For more stories like this, chilling, original, and unforgettable, subscribe to my channel. It's free, and it means everything on my road to 500 subscribers. Now, put on your headphones, lean back, and listen closely, because sometimes, it's not the fire you should fear, it's what the fire lets in. Have you ever heard a sound that didn't come from anything? No footsteps, no wind, no animals, just a vibration in the air. Low, deep, almost like a growl. Now imagine that sound coming from underwater, from a lake, in the middle of the woods, at night. My name is Jason, and I wish I never agreed to that camping trip. It was supposed to be a weekend getaway. Just me, my cousin Nate, his girlfriend Riley, and our friend Casey. 4 people. 1 canoe. 1 isolated lake in Oregon that Nate read about on some underground camping blog. No trails. No cabins. No cell signal. Just us. And a black, glassy lake, surrounded by silence. We arrived late. Set up camp by flashlight. And Nate, being Nate, insisted we go for a night swim. I said no. Everyone else didn't. So I sat by the fire and watched their headlamps bob in the water. And then I heard it. A deep, low hum. Like someone blew into a broken tuba, underwater. Wham. At first I thought it was a boat engine. But there were no boats. Not even ripples. And when I looked out at the lake, they were all frozen, floating in the water, not moving, just staring forward. I shouted, "Hey! Are you guys okay?" No answer. Just that sound again. Louder this time. Deeper. Closer. Then Casey started screaming. But not at us. She was screaming at the lake. "It's right under me! Get me out! Get me out! Get me out!" We pulled them out fast. Riley was shaking. Nate couldn't speak. Casey just kept saying the same thing. It called to me. That night, none of us slept. Because the sound didn't stop. It came through the ground. Through the air. Sometimes, even inside the tent. We tried plugging our ears. Didn't help. The hum wasn't something you heard. You felt it. In your bones. At 3:14 a.m. exactly. All the lanterns went out. At once. And a new sound came. Like a voice. But stretched, slowed down. Like a whisper in reverse. Something was speaking. And I swear to you, it was inside the lake. We ran. Left everything behind. Backpacks. Tents. Phones. The sun came up while we were still running. But when we looked back, the lake wasn't there anymore. Not dried up. Not empty. Just gone. Weeks later, I went back. Alone. During the day. And there it was again. Shining. Still. Like nothing happened. But when I leaned close. Over the dock. I heard it. That same hum. Faint. Persistent. Calling. And under the surface. My reflection blinked. I left. And I will never ever return. But I still hear the sound sometimes. In the shower. On rainy nights. In static. So if you're ever near a lake, and the water seems too still, don't listen too closely. Because some lakes aren't lakes. They're mouths. For more stories like this, raw, atmospheric, and completely original, make sure to subscribe to my channel. Help me reach 500 subscribers. You have no idea how much that means. Now, put on your headphones, lean back, and listen. Because what's coming next, you won't hear with your ears. You'll feel it in your chest. Have you ever noticed something in the woods that shouldn't be there? Like a rope, tied to a tree, swinging slowly. Even though there's no wind? Would you touch it? Would you follow it to see where it leads? Because that's what we did. And now I understand. Some ropes aren't tied to trees. They're tied to choices. And some choices, you can't untie once you make them. My name is Ezra. And this happened last fall. We were deep in the Black Hollow Forest. A place they say was used for old ritual burnings back in the 1800s. I know. We should have turned back the second we read that on the trail sign. But we didn't. There were 5 of us. Me, Jake, Liv, Simon, and Alyssa. We were hiking to find a hidden waterfall. Some off-map location Liv found on an abandoned geocache forum. We hiked for hours. No cell signal. No people. Just trees. And this unnerving quiet. At sunset we set up camp. Built a fire. Told stories. But halfway through a joke Simon was telling, Liv froze. She was staring past the fire. At a tree. "What's that?" she asked. We looked. It was a rope. Tied to a branch. Swinging gently. Not a swing. Not a trap. Just a rope. We all saw it. And yet none of us remembered seeing it earlier. Not when we set up camp. Not when we gathered wood. It was just there now. Jake said, "Someone's messing with us." I wasn't sure. Simon tried pulling it. It wouldn't budge. Then Alyssa said something I'll never forget. "It's leading somewhere." And she was right. Because when you followed the rope, you saw that it wasn't cut. It continued, winding around trees, into the woods. We were stupid. We followed it, one by one, down a slope, over rocks, past a line of birch trees that shouldn't have been there. And there it was, a second rope. This one, tied in a noose, but not hanging, lying on the ground. Suddenly, Jake shouted, "Liv's gone." We spun around. She was just behind us. Seconds ago. Gone now. No footsteps. No scream. Nothing. Just that same first rope. Swinging again. We ran. But the trail back didn't exist anymore. Our camp was gone. The trees were different. The air smelled like iron. And the ropes? There were dozens now. Hanging from trees. Wrapped around trunks. Some tied into symbols. Some ending in mirrors. And in one of those mirrors, I saw Liv. She was standing in a forest. But not ours. Behind her, something moved. Tall. Wrapped in ropes. No face. Only hands. Tying. Untying. Over and over. Tying into flesh. We screamed her name. The mirror shattered. Now there were no paths. Only ropes. Every direction. And the worst part? Every rope had a name tag. Written in old cloth. Burned at the edges. One of them said, Ezra already chosen. We never found Liv. We never found the trail out. But somehow, I woke up back in my bed. Covered in dirt. Fingernails torn. And a burn mark around my wrist. Like something had pulled me out. I've never told the others. Because I don't know if they made it. I don't know if I made it. But there's a rope. Hanging from the tree outside my window now. And some nights, it swings. Even when there's no wind. For more stories like this, eerie, symbolic, and built for sound, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Let's reach 500 together. Now, put on your headphones. Don't follow the sound. Don't follow the rope. Because what you find at the end might already know your name.